What is going on, everybody? Taylor here, and I am joined once again, for the first time in a while, by the wonderful Jacob London. How are you?
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm tired.
That's fair. We are here to talk about Loki. We have not done reviews on the first couple of episodes. We kind of wanted to wait, get into the show, really see what it was about before we decided how we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just a little easier for us, especially with this kind of show, because I think this kind of show, the first couple of episodes were a lot about character and doing some of the world building, and there wasn't really too much.
There wasn't anything to really grab onto.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But now, oh boy, after tonight's episode, are there some things to grab onto
Oh, yeah.
and to talk about? So, what are you thinking? Where are you at? How are you feeling?
Before we get into this, let's just warn everyone. Spoilers! For
Spoilers!
everything up, and we are doing full spoilers, including episode 4. The only two we haven't seen are 5 and 6.
Yes. So, this is Spoiler Town.
Yes.
Go.
This has definitely been the hardest one for me to get into.
Shows?
This show, out of the 3 shows, this has definitely been the hardest one. I really enjoyed episode 1. Episode 2, I liked. I really liked the investigative part, and then they kind of just took that away from us at the end, and I was like, oh, okay. And that's why I think I went into 3 a little annoyed, like not annoyed, but I think a little detached, because I was really liking the investigative teamwork between Owen Wilson and Loki, Morbius and Loki. That then they just kind of took that away, and I was like, oh, no, I would have liked more of that.
Yeah.
And episode 3, I think, got a bad rap because it felt like filler when I don't think it was at all.
Yeah.
It was definitely a very character-based episode, but I think this show has definitely taken a bit to get you to get into it.
I think it's a lot like WandaVision in that way, where if WandaVision didn't grab you right away, the first couple episodes were probably a bit tough for you to get into.
Yeah.
It grabbed me right away, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I feel like Loki is a bit of the same way. You're getting some world building, you're getting some character episodes, and then you get to episode 4.
Yeah.
And that's when it really just bang. For me, I was kind of the same. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Like, I was like, all right, anything about Loki I'm going to take. Like, Loki is one of my favorite characters. Tom Hiddleston's version of him is one of my favorite MCU characters. So I was like, I'm going to take it. Especially because I really bought into Loki and Mobius' dynamic right away. Mm-hmm. Like, I really liked their chemistry and the kind of story that we were telling there. Episode 3, for me, I was really starting to get interested because the dynamic they were giving us between Loki and himself, or Sylvie, however you want to refer to it. I thought that was very interesting. Mm-hmm. You got to kind of step away from the TVA for a while and just get to see some character moments, which were really great. And then this episode just blew so much wide open.
It made it. I think the best description I've seen for this show has been it's Marvel doing Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and
I would say that.
That is very on brand because there are a lot of Doctor Who episodes that do not work, and there are a lot that really work. This is one that really worked.
I really am enjoying the fact that we don't know what the heck the TVA actually is, or what its purpose is, or who's actually running it. I think that's something we got out of this episode. I was always a bit on the fence about the TVA since they were introduced, because it seems they set it up like it was the DMV. Like, you're going to the DMV and nothing, they say they're there to help you. But it's like walking into any government building and being like, this is going to be a disaster. Nothing good could possibly come from me being here. And that kind of was the vibe that the TVA felt like. You wanted to trust Mobius because he's Owen Wilson and he's a likable character, and you want him to be fighting for truth and justice and doing what he genuinely believes he is doing. The other characters around them from the TVA always felt a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting thing. And then you keep going and things just don't seem to quite add up through any of the episodes. You get these weird things happening, and then you get to this episode and you really find out, oh, none of this is actually what they're telling you.
None of it's real. It's all been manipulation and, for lack of a better description, I guess, Wizard of Ozing.
Yeah.
It's
don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah, it's suddenly we got to look behind the curtain, and it's we got told there's a man behind the curtain. We don't know, or there's something behind the curtain operating everything. We don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
I really like that. That was a really great reveal for me. I thought this episode had the problem of knowing it was episode 4. So knowing there are 2 more episodes after it.
Yeah.
So you were going, okay, something's coming. There's something going to happen that means we are getting another 2 hours of television.
Right. No, I get that.
Yeah, because they were building to this is the finale, and then it was, no, it wasn't. And I liked that. I thought it was really well done, and I thought it was very entertaining.
I really, the thing, and we kind of just talked about it, but the thing I really enjoy about the show is, you being given this agency that you're supposed to trust is doing justice in the universe and keeping things on the right track, and they're in charge of making sure that everything is right. Like the timeline's not messed up, and the world is functioning and the universes are functioning how they should be, and it's just not that. We don't know what it is at this point. Yeah. But we know that it's not that. None of these people were made to be timekeepers. They've been stolen from their timelines. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone is a variant, which is, there's so much that can happen from here. And I think another interesting aspect of the show that I kind of never bought into, and now I realize there was a reason I didn't buy into it, was that pruning people just kills them. Yeah. They're just gone. We know, spoiler alert, based off of the post-credit scene, that they're not just gone. Yeah. They go somewhere. If that place is what then kills them is the question mark. Like, because they said, am I in hell? No, but you will be. Right. Like, that's... Yeah. Maybe there's like a time limit.
Yeah, it's something in here is going to kill you.
But that's another very interesting thing, because when they pruned Mobius, I was like, no, you're all in detention and timeout, and this is not okay.
There's a part of me that is like, I want him to come back because it's Owen Wilson, and because Mobius is, I think, probably my favorite character from this show. Like, I mean, maybe Sylvie, but I've really enjoyed Mobius in this. More than I thought I would, because I'm not the biggest Owen Wilson fan.
See, I'm not either.
And I've really enjoyed him in this. Great. And then there's the other part of me that's like, no, give that wait moment. Like, give that moment the weight that it like, because that was such a, oh, you bitch moment. Like, I was so angry. They
did a great job at making you hate her. Like, I always felt like she was a bit sketchy. Yeah. But this episode, you went,
oh, you gotta go.
Oh, if I could step through this TV and throw down, there would be a throwdown right now. I do want to talk about Sylvie a little bit. Yeah. Because it's a great character. Yes. She does a fantastic job with the character, and I love her dynamic with Loki. Yeah. They have such an interesting relationship because they're both the god of mischief and goddess of mischief, respectively. Yeah. They clearly don't trust anyone, let alone each other. They both know that they're tricksters, and that's such a fascinating thing to set up. Put them in a stranded place that they can't get away from each other, and see how it plays out, and see what the character work looks like, and see if they're going to actually be vulnerable with another person for once, and if they're what we're going to learn about them. And I thought that was such an interesting way to do it, where you're pushing the story forward because they're trying to figure out where they're stranded, why they're stranded there, what their fate is going to be. But then they're having to decide if they're going to work together, what they're going to tell each other, how that's going to go. And to me, it was really interesting because we do sometimes get vulnerable moments from Loki in the MCU. But that episode and this episode, to me, we get to see something. And even the episode previously where he's watching his life play out and he's watching himself die in the other timeline, it's kind of been one of my favorite parts of this show, really, is you get to actually explore that side of Loki that's not just put in the MCU to cause the mischief.
Like, I remember saying at the end of episode one thing that I wasn't the biggest fan of is when they first at Comic-Con, when we were at Comic-Con, they talked about this show. Kevin Feige very much said, this is a Loki who has just been defeated. Yeah. It's not the one who's had his redemption arc. Yeah. It's the one who's just been defeated. And then I was a little disappointed when it felt like at the end of the first episode, they were treating him as though he's been redeemed already. Yeah. Like, and again, and episodes 2 and 3 kind of went, no, he hasn't. He's still Loki. He's still, like, learning. Yeah. And this series, I think, is going to be the redemption arc to a degree.
Which, I mean, I personally don't mind, because with a character like Loki, especially with introduction of variants and different timelines and stuff now, you can always reset it or tell a different story with it. Yeah. And I do think, I hope, I don't know, and I'm getting my hopes up, and I know I'm probably going to be crushed, but I am hoping Sylvie makes it out of this show. I really hope she does, even if she, like, jumps into a different timeline or something. Yeah. Because I love her so much, and I'm going to be so sad if they're like, you have to sacrifice, you must sacrifice Sylvie to make it out of this show alive.
I mean, the other interesting is if Hiddleston sacrifices and Sylvie survives. And
that would also hurt me personally quite a bit, but I also kind of don't mind it. Yeah. Because Loki Hiddleston has had a great run in the MCU. Years, so 10 years. Yeah. And listen, I could watch him play Loki for another 20 years, and I won't complain about that, because he's great in the role, and you can tell he has so much fun with it and does a lot of great work with it. But if that ends up being the outcome of the show, is that we now get Sylvie Loki going forward, I wouldn't mind that either, because she's a lot of fun. Yep. She's clearly very mischievous, but also her story is fascinating, where she remembers parts of her childhood, she remembers Asgard, but she was taken away from that life very, very young, and was told that she's ruining the timeline and has her own kind of trauma.
And also, what I found interesting is the line of, they deleted my timeline. Yeah. So, like, so she is from an alternate world that is now gone. Yeah. And so there still are multiverses out there. Yeah. Which is the interesting part for me. Like, that they haven't, like, you know, there's meant to be the sacred timeline, which is one timeline. This episode kind of confirmed that it's not. Yeah. Or it's a plot hole. Well, one or the other.
To me, I think they tell the most of the people, the timekeepers at the TVA, are told there's one sacred timeline. Yeah. And whoever's actually running the show, because we saw in this episode, the
timekeepers,
the actual timekeepers were animatronics.
Were robots.
Robots.
Yeah. So
the TVA agents, whoever's running the whole show. I'm thinking that there is more than one timeline, but they're very carefully and craftily deciding which ones get to stay. Yeah. But they're telling everyone that there's one sacred timeline, which is fascinating. I'm really curious how they're actually going to go about that.
Yeah, and then we even saw that in the post-credit scene where all three of those were clearly Lokis. Yeah. Like, so clearly that's more Lokis, and considering we've heard throughout this show, the variants, the mischievous variants, or the ones that break the rules, are typically a Loki. Yeah. So I have a feeling we could be getting to the Rick and Morty episode, like, of just we are now doing the Rick and Morty, the one where the Citadel of Rick and Morty. I have a feeling
the Citadel of Loki.
I have a feeling that could be the next episode, so that will be interesting.
That would be so good. Sign me up for a Citadel of Lokis. That would just be such chaos. I love every second of it. But But yeah, I wasn't sure where this show was going to take us.
Yeah.
And I definitely was not expecting it to take us where it has taken us.
No.
But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's definitely doing a lot of things that we wouldn't really get to see if it was a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's taking a lot of interest. It's a weird show.
It is.
It's like a WandaVision kind of weird show in something we've never quite seen before. We might be / might not be getting the Loki Sylvie romance that half of Twitter is yelling at people about for being problematic. I don't really care if it's problematic or not. They're cute and I dig it. Like, I have enough problems going on in the real world. I don't need to worry about if Loki Sylvie is problematic in my fiction. I'm just putting that out there right now. Yep. Like, let me have cute romances. We all still watch Clueless, even though she ended up with her stepbrother, okay? Let's just enjoy the things, all right? Let's just
enjoy.
Let's just enjoy it, because Loki's heart grew 3 sizes that day, all right? Like, he was clearly very confused when he realized there might be someone he actually likes and didn't know how to handle it, and was very much like, I don't like her, she's gross and she's annoying and she hits me. And it's like, you've never been in love before, have you? You don't understand that this is a bunch of pigtail pulling from both sides of this, and that you annoy the crap out of each other, and yet the moment you thought she was dead, you were about to burn down the entire place.
Yeah.
I just had to get that in there. That's fair. Because half of Twitter is yelling at each other about...
Yeah.
Which is Twitter. Yeah. But, like, I'm just saying, this is a Sylvie Loki, like, positive channel.
Yes.
You can come into the comments and talk and scream about how cute it is. I will scream back with you. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But yeah, this is
is there anything else you want to get in about these episodes so far?
I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the show more than I thought I would after the first episode.
One more thing I want to say. We got one of the best meme templates in the entire world out of the episode the other day.
Oh, yes.
Nothing matters. The world is ending. That's one of my favorite. He just starts throwing stuff and going, we're in a moment where nothing matters. The world is ending. I'm like, I think we all feel that on a deep spiritual level right now.
Yes.
So I wasn't buying into the show after the first episode. I was like, man, I really want to like this more than I'm liking it. Everyone else is really digging it. I'm really not. These last 2 episodes for me have really had me buying into it.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the character elements, the story elements. I love that, we got this big setup of the TVA, and now we're like, and we're back to knowing nothing about what's actually going on here.
Yes.
I'm expecting big things from the last couple of episodes
2
that
hours
we're going to get. I know. What do you think is going to happen?
I got no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
I don't even know.
I don't even want to guess. Like, I'm just kind of...
I actually really don't either.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch...
Maybe next week. Might guess next week.
But this show has been so much fun. Like, literally at the end of this episode, I was just like, what? You're gonna... This is where you're gonna leave it? What? How dare you do this to me in my own home? was how I felt at the end of that one. But what did you guys think of this episode? What have you guys thought of the past episodes? We'd love to hear all of your crazy, insane thoughts, because there's so much happening. And it's just glorious purpose these episodes have given me. And I'm very, very thankful for it. I'm so happy that Marvel is just letting this show be weird, like we got with WandaVision.
Yeah.
Where we're just doing crazy, cosmic, universe-bending, timeline nonsense stuff in the build-up for Doctor Strange, because I'm super not mentally or emotionally ready for what's about to happen there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you want to find us on social media, all of our links are down in the description. If you want to see what else we've been watching, our Letterboxd accounts are down there. We also have our Patreon down there. We've gotten a couple more subscribers since we've booted it up. People are contributing. Thank you so much to everyone who has. We're working on putting up some Patreon exclusive content, including some horror movie
have fun with that.
Reactions, because that's what people want to see from me, apparently. They want to see me suffer. So if you want to get in on that content, come over and hang out on the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for all of your continued support, and we will see you all next time.